Hello, Master James Howe. How are you? Thanks for accepting the interview. How is everything going there?
Good, thank you, Luis. I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to speak with you, and I think what you're doing for the Taekwondo community is really great. So it's cool to be able to kind of join you today and kind of talk a little bit of Taekwondo.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to talk about Taekwondo. I guess you probably already taught today Taekwondo, and on the afternoon you're gonna be on your dojang again.
Yes, I'm kind of immersed in the whole Taekwondo world right now. So it's everything, and I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. So
Amazing, amazing, Master. How at what time there you start teaching today?
so today I have classes that start at 3 o'clock.
Okay.
I normally have some Zoom trainings and some personal private lessons during that time, and then right after that, we continue classes all the way up until about 7:30 at night. So,
Okay, amazing. And in what city are you?
I'm in Antioch, California, currently. It's a city where I've grown up. It's in Northern California, in the Bay Area. So, really special to kind of be back in that city, kind of where I grew up. So.
Is where you grew up.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, it's directly right across the street from the high school that I went to. So,
Okay.
really cool to kind of come back to that city after so long. So,
And do you drive every day to go to your dojang, or how far is your dojang from your home?
yeah. So right now from my home, it's about 45 minutes. So it's a little bit of a drive. But again, like I said, I wouldn't change it for anything. And I love the location that I'm in, and love that I'm able to kind of give back to the same community that gave me so much growing up. So it's really, really important to me.
Excellent, Master. You started your Living Proof Taekwondo dojang right before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of crazy how everything happened. I moved back from Miami to California in March with plans to open in April, right? And then kind of I got home, and the world kind of stopped, right? Everything was put to a hold, and we kind of had to postpone it a little bit. So it pushed us back a few months, but I mean, luckily, with really supportive families that I have that are a part of my school, we were able to open up end of June, early August, early July. So obviously, keeping everybody safe and making sure we have the right protocols in place so that everybody stays healthy. But everybody was kind of on the same page, and we're ready to kind of get their kids back in action and back to being social with each other and living an active lifestyle. So it was really important for me to be able to start that. But again, crazy, and it's tough, but I think everything happens for a reason. So
Amazing. So you postponed the opening some months and
yeah.
then go further.
Yeah, I went for it. I mean, I postponed it. I was in communication with a lot of members that were reaching out to me, and when I felt like we had enough people to kind of get started, that's when I went ahead and said, okay, let's start to open, and let's make it happen. So, and
How
and
are
we
the
did.
what the state there or the government limits you in the amount of people that have to train, or you have to, can you train with a partner, or how is it going there, that part?
I mean, California has been really slow on progressing towards opening and things like that. But right now, we're able to be fully open and have at least 25% capacity. So I've been able to manage the class sizes. Obviously, there's some certain things that we're not able to do because of socially distant and keeping socially distance. But we're able to make it work, and the kids are able to kind of be active and have fun. So I can't complain.
Yeah, and I think at least in Mexico it's happening this way. Children are not allowed to go to normal school, so they
Yeah,
want to do something.
yeah, absolutely. It's the same way here. I know I'm sure it's hard for parents and kids because every school is different. But I know some kids now here in California are doing some in-person learning. as well as doing some virtual learning as well too. So having a combination of both. Hopefully everybody can kind of get back to going to school in person fully and having a full schedule there. So I think we're moving in the right direction. It's just I think with everything it's patience, right? We have to be patient, and I mean we've gone through a year of it already. So I think it's only going up from here.
Great, master. Now to start with the normal questions we start during an interview, I want to ask you, before Taekwondo, how were you as a child? How is your family? And then how you started in Taekwondo?
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I was always very interested in sports, all sports. I played a lot of basketball, football, baseball growing up. I was one of those kids who were always playing outside, whether I was, riding my bike, and, I never came back inside the house until, I mean, my parents told me until the street lights came on. When the street lights come on, I mean, that was the time to go home. So I would take advantage of that every day. And, so sports has always been a big part of my life, even to today. I mean, I'm a big sports fan, and a huge basketball fan, and huge American football fan, and soccer fan. So, and then I kind of just translated. And when I found martial arts, I knew that I loved it right from the start.
What kind of martial arts school you attended first? Was the same one of all of your life, or how was it?
So I actually grew up in San Jose, California, and my first instructor there was Master Armin Cruz with San Jose Martial Arts, where the primary focus was traditional Taekwondo. I also learned the Olympic style there as well too. So kind of being able to start there, and then as I moved throughout my life and growing up, I found different instructors and different coaches, but it was always traditional and Olympic style Taekwondo from the beginning.
And from the beginning, as a child, what did you like about Taekwondo? The sparring, or what attracted you to the sport?
Oh man, I think like every other kid, right? I was watching a lot of Ninja Turtles and Power Rangers, and watching Jackie Chan movies and Jet Li movies. So my parents actually didn't want to get me involved at first. So it was a lot of begging and a lot of like pleading to them to let me sign up. Whether it was they thought I was going to get hurt, or whatever it was. But I think they got tired of me asking so much, and finally gave in. And once I stepped on the mat, and just every part of it. I mean, the discipline, I loved to do Pumse when I was younger. And then obviously I love to compete and kind of get into a ring and fight a little bit. So I've always been a fighter, and it's always been something that I love doing. So to this day.
Excellent. And how did you went from starting as a child enjoying the sport to starting to focus more on competition and sparring competition, of course?
Yeah, I mean, I think I always had just like a natural talent for the sport, and I was always doing well as a color belt. But I think the very first time where it hit me, and I really knew that maybe this sport can take me places, was when I was a junior, and I made the junior national team in 2002. At that time, USA Taekwondo, if you had won the national championships, you were the team member for that year. So the first time that I had won it as a black belt in the junior division, I thought it was just like any other time I had won it, maybe when I was a green belt or when I was a red belt. And it wasn't until after the fact that, they said all the black belts have a meeting, and hey, you guys are going to go to junior world championships, and you guys are going to go to Greece and compete. And that was a real big eye opener for me. And that's kind of where my competitive journey started.
Amazing. Same story and as Stephen Lambdin, I think. And the same,
yes,
yeah.
Stephen Lambdin. Yes, we were on the same same junior team in Greece. He was, I believe, he was one of the heavier weights at the time, and I was a flyweight at the time. So it's actually really cool to kind of, Stephen, to still see him fight, and kind of us be around in the same generation. I don't think there's anybody else left on that national team that's competing. So really cool to kind of see him accomplish all the things that he's accomplished.
And did your family used to travel outside the United States before, or it was your first experience abroad?
It was my very first experience. And so, I mean, luckily I was able to have my family there with me, and they traveled to Greece. And I mean, Greece is a beautiful country. And yes, that was my first experience really in the international stage, and kind of really seeing what the sport was about, and seeing all the other countries and being around all the other nations. So it was really, really cool to experience.
What do you remember of the fights, the day of the competition? How was that experience?
Yeah, I mean, it was, I mean, to be honest, it was a long time ago. It was all a blur, but I mean, I had made it into the quarterfinals of that championship. And I remember fighting Chinese Taipei to get into the medal round. And it was a very, very close fight. It was 0-0 the entire time. And I think the very last exchange, I went to throw a spinning roundhouse kick in Nadaban, and he and landed pretty good too. And at the same time, he kind of hit a padechagi and fell to the ground, and he's the one who scored the point there. So,
Okay.
and that's kind of how it ended. But to be able to win a couple matches, 3 matches at that championship, and make it into the quarterfinal, I mean, it was pretty special, and kind of just fueled the fire that I had, and wanted more ever since then.
So you went back to the United States wanting more. What was next for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was, I mean, that really sparked it for me. It was the beginning. I had continued to make the next 2 junior national teams, and then went on to make the collegiate team with the United States, where I was able to compete at the World University Championships, and was really lucky to compete in university games in Serbia as well too. And then finally in 2008 breaking through and making the senior national team, and then being able to compete in world championships. And from there, really from 2008 to 2015, was able to kind of secure a spot on the senior national team. So a lot of experience, a lot of opportunities that I had. So I'm really grateful for all of it.
So as a junior, you moved to train to other place to looking for being part of the national team, or how did you prepare to be on the top, first as a junior and then as a senior?
Yeah, so I mean, right out of high school, I knew that if this is what I wanted to do, that I needed to be in a different location. A funny story: I had always planned to move to another team to kind of train full time, and really commit to the sport. And I had 3 places in mind, and at the time it was either with Juan Moreno in Miami, because he was all the things that he was doing with his team, and it was Coach Gene Lopez in Texas was also an option that was going to be a stop on one of my trips. And then also Master Patrice Remarque had a team in Virginia at the time with RST. So it was going to be one of the 3, and it just so happened that Miami was the first place that I visited. And I mean, I loved it there, and kind of the rest is history. And Coach Moreno has been a huge influence in my life since that time.
So that decision was made in high school.
Yes, I was a senior in high school. I kind of talked to him. I mean, I've been exposed to Coach Moreno, being a part of the junior national teams. But it wasn't until I actually moved out, went to go visit there and trained for a couple weeks, where I knew that, okay, this is the place that I need to be, and where I want to continue my journey.
What did you see in those 2 weeks that combines you of training there?
Oh man, I think it was just the environment, and being surrounded around older professional athletes, and really got to see what it's like to be a professional, and how to train like a professional, and being in a room surrounded by people who have the same goals and same kind of mindset as you. In California, there was always not too many training partners for me. So being able to kind of go out there and be around other national team members like Anthony Graff, who's like a big brother to me, and Rufus Hammond, Manny Suarez, Danielle Holmquist, like a lot of those people, Lauren Cahoon, Hammond, who's also now. So, but just being around those guys and being around Coach Moreno was really special. And I knew that if to do what I wanted to do in the sport, that's where I needed to be.
Excellent. Did you have some kind of government support, or how did you fund your training there?
I was tough. I mean, a lot of my support came from my parents. My parents have always been a huge backbone in my life, and they've always supported me through everything in every step of the way. So, of course, having their support was huge for me. Also, when we made the national team, most of those trips were kind of taken care of, and funding was paid for at the time. So, was blessed to have the support of USA Taekwondo as well too.
Amazing. How was a day training there with Master Juan Moreno?
Oh man, it's fun. It's fun, but at the same time, it's tough, right? We had long training days. I remember he used to make me wake up at before it would be 5:30 a.m. to have strength and conditioning workouts with him, and then obviously we would have afternoon sessions where we're kicking and doing a little paddle drills and situational drills, and then obviously we have the training at night as well too with the whole team. And so it was really challenging, and it really tested you at times. Coach Moreno, I always joke with him now that he's gotten a little soft, but he used to be really tough on us back in the day. And he didn't give he wasn't there to hear any excuses, and didn't want to hear it, and kind of expected so much of us. And I think all of us were on the same page, and we're able to kind of be better for it because of it.
Excellent. And there it was that you first won your spot at the senior national team?
Yeah, so I moved to Miami in 2006 and was training with him. I was living in Miami for about 2 years until 2008. When I got there, I was taking second place. I took second place at the senior national team trials, took second place at the Pan Am Games team trials, and then took second place at the University Games team trials. And I was a little bit defeated at the time, and I was a little bit discouraged because I had kind of moved away from California to kind of chase this dream, and to be able to fall just short a little bit, it was tough. But I think those situations and kind of those experiences really helped me push to the next level. And finally in 2008, I was able to kind of break through and make the national team. And once I did that in 2008, I had a little bit of confidence and kind of knew I belonged in the sport and knew I could kind of compete with anybody. So it was just a confidence thing for me from then on out, and was able to, again, kind of secure those spots every single year.
Amazing. And you fought 5 world championships, right?
I've actually fought in 3 world championships.
3, sorry.
Yes, I was in 2009 in Copenhagen. That was my very first world championship. And then I fought again in Korea in 2011. And then I also fought in Puebla in 2013, okay, in 2013 as well too. So,
you fought. You have been very close with, yes, really top fighters.
Yeah, I mean, I've been blessed to be able to kind of share the ring with a lot of great fighters. And in 2009, I think it was the round of 16 or quarterfinal round with Joel Gonzalez, who, I mean, if you know the sport of Taekwondo, you kind of know what Joel has done, and Olympic champion, and he won world championships that year as well too. So being able to kind of share the ring with him, and again, like you said, close matches. And I've shared the ring with Guillermo Perez as well too, Olympic gold medalist in 2008. Also from Dominican Republic, Mercedes. We also had a couple matches at a world championship in a quarterfinal in 2011. So that was a really close, tough match again, where I fell kind of just short. And then, I mean, even really blessed to be able to share the ring with Mark Lopez too, and fighting at Olympic trials and having to fight up in weight because, you know, flyweight wasn't given the opportunity. So really, really blessed to be able to share the ring with some of these great fighters.
Is there some of these guys or something in the US, someone in the USA that you particularly enjoy fighting with?
Oh man, there's a lot of guys that I enjoy fighting with. I think you know, me and Damian Villa have shared the ring many times since we were very young. So and me, and it's really cool to kind of think about it now, because me and Damian are still good friends and still keep in touch with each other. And I actually saw him very recently, and we were able to kind of talk about, man, we were in some US Open finals and we fought each other in local events. We fought each other in Grand Prix events. So being able to fight each other on all those different stages is kind of really special. So he's always been a one that I love to compete against. And then, like I said, being able to compete against Mark Lopez, who's I mean, he's Mark Lopez and former world champion and Olympic silver medalist. Being able to kind of fight at that level and with those guys, it was really special to me, and something that, you know, I cherish now.
Great. Did you fight Damian Sow in local tournaments as children or teenagers?
As teenagers, I used to fight with him, and then also with his brother Gus.
Okay.
So Gus is, I know, a little bit older, and me and Gus kind of had some battles in the ring too. But yeah, it's crazy to me, and the kind of level of events that we've kind of competed against each other. So like I said, local tournaments to Grand Prix to US Opens to you name it.
How do you see the 58 weight category for Tokyo?
It's tough. It's tough. I think it's one of the toughest divisions, and there's so many guys who are really really talented. So I mean, it really can come down to who's having the best day there. And obviously the Koreans have amazing athletes there, and you have guys from Italy, and you have you know, a lot of fighters in Asia and Iran, and also Mexico as well too. So a lot of guys that can kind of make it happen.
We hope Mexico, sadly, this time we won't have a 58.
No 58 this time, unfortunately. Close. It was close.
Yeah, it's sad because it's one of the most traditional weight divisions for us, but okay.
It's tough.
Maybe in Los Angeles.
Yes, exactly. 2028.
Okay, and you fought your three world championships. You have a very longevous career.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you retire? But also why, I don't know, maybe why did you stretch to your career until now? Because you fought even last year, right?
Yeah, so I fought in a Grand Slam here in the US, one of our qualification tournaments just in 2020. Before that, I had won the national championships in minus 58 in the US in 2019. But the real reason, I mean, I believe everything happens for a reason, and I kind of had a knee injury in 2020. Tried to rehab it a little bit, and when that happened, it was the first kind of major injury that I've ever dealt with in my career. And I was always, it was always, I wanted to go until the wheels fell off. Right. And I'm a fighter, and I always felt like I could compete at a high level, even now. Right. I still have the most confidence in myself and still feel like I could compete at the highest level. But at the time I had hurt my knee. So, it was, I had to think about what the future was for me, and start planning for what's next. And opening a school has always been something that I've dreamed of since I was a little kid. It was always just words before when I was younger, and I would always just say, yeah, I'm gonna open up a school and kind of teach kids and kind of share my experiences with them. But for me to kind of put it into reality and really make it happen, it was special for me, and it was, I felt like it was the right time.
It was the right time. But did you plan to continue with your project, with your school, and compete?
So right now, I mean, and that's the big question right now, and I feel great, and I feel like I can still compete. I think this year that I've had off was good for my knee injury, and I feel strong now, and who knows? Who knows? Right now, my focus is on my team and on the kids, but if I have an opportunity to compete and I feel like I can do well. Yeah, I might strap up a couple more times. So
Amazing. And you decided to open your school in the city you grew up. That was what you wanted from a lot of time ago.
yeah, I mean, not specifically where I kind of grew up. That opportunity kind of just fell into my lap, and it was just kind of the perfect situation, and it was something that I couldn't pass up. So now, being able to be in the city that really kind of gave me so much, and kind of where my love for the sport kind of began, it's really, really special for me. And to see these kids come into my school, and for me to tell them, hey, I went to that same high school that you went to, and this sport has kind of given me so much. So to be able to again kind of share my knowledge, share my experience with these kids, and if I can impact them in the smallest way, that's what it's about for me.
And why did you choose that name for your school, the Living Proof?
Living proof. So it's a funny story. I mean, I think like a lot of most Taekwondo schools, they usually use their name, and it's like I didn't want to be the traditional house Taekwondo center or house martial arts, because at the end of the day, it's not about me. Really, when I thought of living proof, when we talk about people who are living proof, it's someone who kind of demonstrated that something can be done, right? Something can be possible, and that's what it is for me. It's more of a mindset for these kids that they can become their own living proof, with hard work, with dedication, sacrifice. They can really kind of, it's a little bit cliche to say, but I mean, really, you can do anything you put your mind to. It's just really about dedicating yourself to that craft, and really focusing on what you want in life, whether it's in Taekwondo or whether it's in school or whatever you choose to do with your life. I think it's big, and kind of just motivation for them to kind of become their own living proof, that they can be the ones that can make it happen.
Amazing. And you are not only focused on the sparring part.
No, not. I mean, I do. Again, I have a huge traditional background, so being able to kind of teach the traditional side of martial arts and really focus on, those tenets of Taekwondo, and kind of instill in these kids, discipline and courtesy and integrity, all the things that kind of made me who I am, was really special to me. So I teach traditional with them. I teach them the Pumse as well too, and then of course sparring is so dear to my heart. So that's another part of our program for sure.
Of course. And why did being you are an elite athlete with a lot of international experience, why do you think it's important to have this traditional side also in your school?
Like I said, it's the discipline and the perseverance. It's really that stands out to me, and has really been instilled in me. And if these kids can kind of take that on and realize that they can accomplish what they want to accomplish through having a good foundation and having good discipline, I think it's going to set them up to do whatever they want to do in life, whether that's in sport or in any aspect. So very important for me to be able to kind of preach that to my kids, and hopefully they can kind of do what they want in life.
Amazing. So you have your sparring program, but you are not obsessed that all of your students are going to be sparring fighters.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great if everybody wanted to do that, and I would love to have a big program, but I know it's not for everybody. And you know, it takes a certain kind of person to kind of get into a ring like that. So, and that's okay, right? I mean, I'm going to have kids who kind of want to fight, and, you know, I would love to share my experience with them, but also kids that, you know, just want to have a place to kind of be themselves, and a safe place for them to kind of interact with other kids, and become, you know, better socially with each other, and a place for them to stay active and be healthy, especially now when, you know, all these kids are kind of stuck behind a computer screen, and you know, weight issues, things like that. I mean, so to be able to kind of just give these kids a place to be active and be healthy, and be social with each other is, I think, is huge, especially for the young ones. They need that kind of social aspect in their life.
Amazing. Do you have with Living Proof Taekwondo, or personally, some middle term project or goal that you want to share with us, that you can share, of course,
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of goals for the school, and obviously to kind of keep growing as a school, and, you know, hopefully able to kind of open up multiple locations. I mean, that would be the dream, to be able to touch as many kids as I can and kind of impact their life in a positive way. Because that's, at the end of the day, that's really what it's about for me, and try to give these kids an outlet for them to be themselves, and a place where they can kind of learn to gain confidence, and learn how to be you know, good people in this world. So I think we need a lot more kindness. So you know, I really preach with these kids the value of you know, family, and the values of being kind to each other, and inclusion, and diversity. So a lot of things that I want to focus on, and but hopefully just keep growing, and hopefully yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would love to open up multiple locations, especially throughout the Bay Area, maybe throughout the country. So we'll see. I would love to kind of do what Coach Moreno was doing. I mean, that would be the dream, and kind of have multiple programs throughout the country. So, you know, he was a huge role model for me. So being able to kind of see him work and see the things that he's able to do has really inspired me to do a lot of what I'm doing right now.
As an athlete, you of course have had a lot of fulfilling experiences. In which things these experiences are different from the experience of teaching kids, which is also rewarding, but it's different.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, as a fighter, you learn a lot about failure, in learning how to bounce back from that. And I think it really says, I mean, just in life, you're going to experience things that don't go the way you want it to go. And it's really kind of how you react in those situations that kind of help you grow as a person. So, you know, being a fighter, and, you know, taking losses and having to deal with that, and having a short-term memory, and having to kind of move past it, and stay on track and move to the next thing was huge for me. And of course, I mean, just being in that ring was rewarding in itself. Obviously a different feeling than giving back to my athletes, but I would say that, I mean, seeing my athletes succeed is I think more fulfilling for me than anything that I've been able to kind of accomplish. So
did you started helping some athletes with Coach Moreno in Miami, or?
Yeah. So yes. I've been teaching Taekwondo for a long time. It's been something that I done as a, you know, as a teenager growing up, and helping out during classes, and coaching athletes privately throughout the Bay Area when I was in the Bay Area, and then working with some athletes while I was in Miami as well too. So helping people has always been something that I wanted to do, and now it's just special that I'm able to kind of have my own location where I can kind of you know, help as many people as possible.
Amazing, Master. Now we're gonna move to some questions that I do to most of our guests.
Okay.
Okay, so let's go. How is a day in your life? How do you organize your day in order to achieve all of your day goals?
Yeah, well, I'm really usually a morning person, so I'm usually always up super early. Um, I'm very big on making sure I get things done in the morning before I have school. So a lot of my mornings consist of um, paperwork for the school, or planning my schedules for the week and for the day, and my lesson plans, and some of the trainings that I want to do, and some of the things that I want to talk about to my kids that day or that week. And then really my day starts getting ready, teaching classes at 3 o'clock, and kind of helping those kids throughout the day. So we have about 4 to 5 classes per day. So just taking care of what I need to in the morning, and then starting in the afternoon through the evening with my kids.
And at night you don't work
No,
after
no, yeah,
the dojang?
yeah. After the dojang, I'm not working right now. While I was in Miami, I was working full time for Apple. So it was really tough to kind of out there. Was working a full time job, and then obviously training full time as well too. Managing all the travel that we had as well too. So it was tough. So now really my focus is just on the school, and trying to build it as much as we can right now.
So you funded part of your athletic career working full time.
Correct. Yeah. So I always had a job, always was working somewhere. Me and actually Terrence Jennings, one of my best friends, we worked together in Miami in a warehouse, and and we were really having like hard labor, and in Miami in that Florida weather, it gets really hot. So we would wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, go to work till about 3 o'clock in the warehouse, and then come home, have enough time for an hour to relax a little bit before we had to kind of go to training. So, but yeah, I was always having to work. And again, like I said, I was always lucky to have the support of my parents, and for them to help me out throughout everything was really special. But yeah, always working.
Yeah, amazing.
No choice.
When you don't do something related to Taekwondo, what do you like to do? Is there any hobby that you have?
Again, like I'm really big into sports, so I watch a lot of sports. I watch a lot of NBA basketball. A lot of people who know me know that I'm a huge Golden State Warriors fan. So I watch a lot of basketball. I watch a lot of NFL too. And again, I'm a huge Green Bay Packer fan. My family is from Milwaukee, so from that area. So following sports, and actually playing a little video games as well too. That's how I kind of keep in touch with some of my friends nowadays, and that's really the main reason why I do it, is just kind of keep track with those guys, and so it's fun to kind of get away from everything, and kind of have a little bit of fun.
You were a fan of Golden State Warriors before
all
these things?
Yes. A lot of people kind of, now you think Golden State Warriors and they think about all the championships and all the success that we had recently. But before that, they were a terrible, terrible organization, and a lot of like bad losing seasons. But it was always the atmosphere for me. Even when the teams were bad, you go into that arena and everybody was having fun, right? It was a slogan for them. It was a great time out, right? So always, and then just that culture, and having to go through all those losing seasons, and then now kind of experiencing a little success is pretty special. So
I'm curious now. It was cheaper to go there when they sucked.
Man, when I remember going to Warrior games as a kid, maybe when I was a teenager, and tickets would be $20, $15, $20 to go. Now you're spending a good buck to get into those games now, obviously after all the championships that they had. And they have a new arena now, and I'm hoping to get to visit that sometime soon. Hopefully we'll able to kind of get fans there, but really excited to check out the new stadium that they have in San Francisco.
Amazing. And what kind of video games do you like?
Like mostly sports games growing up. Again, I played a lot of NBA 2K, a lot of Madden growing up. Right now, currently, I play some Call of Duty with some of my friends. And then again, I mean, that's a way for us to kind of keep in touch, and how I kind of see those guys. I know everybody lives a busy life now, so to be able to kind of spend some time with those guys a little bit is really cool.
Do you think Taekwondo needs its own video game?
Absolutely. I think it's been way too long. I think there's been like a couple apps that came out here and there, but man, I think it would be awesome to kind of see some of the elite fighters today in a video game, and be able to kind of use your favorite characters. And I think someone needs to get on that soon.
Hopefully,
Hopefully, yes.
Is there? Can you tell us if you like books? If there are 1 to 3 books that must have impacted your life?
I mean, one that jumps out the most to me is a book called Relentless by Tim Grover. He's a world-renowned athletic trainer. Has worked with some of the biggest athletes in the world. Michael Jordan. He was Michael Jordan's trainer for about 15 years. Dwayne Wade, Hakeem Olajuwon, right? So like some of those guys, and he really talks about really going from good to great to unstoppable, and kind of just shares his methods and how he trained his athletes. So it's really cool to kind of get an insight to kind of what he was preaching to his athletes, and what made those guys so successful. I mean, those are some of the best athletes in the world. And so Relentless, yeah, by Tim Grover.
So he was a strength and conditioning trainer.
Correct. Yeah, he's an athletic trainer and worked with a lot of NBA players.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. Great. Is there any purchase of less than $100 that has most positively impacted your life in the last 6 months?
Oh man, all of my purchases lately have been towards the school. So it's I would say, let me think about that one. Yeah, I mean, no purchase really stands out. I mean, everything that I buy right now is kind of getting more equipment for the school, or having to buy boards for the belt tests, having to buy new belts, new uniforms. I mean, it's a good thing because I'm starting to run out of uniforms and apparel, but that's a good problem to have when we're giving them out. And so those have really been my purchases lately, on getting more uniforms and getting more paddles for the school, getting more heavy bags. Okay. I'm really excited about getting a 2020 armor into the gym. So really, I think that actually shipped a couple of days ago. So I'm really excited to get a chance to work with that as well too.
Amazing, Master. Great. Well, what do you think of technology now for Taekwondo?
I mean, I think we're advancing all the time, and I think it's great, and I think it's necessary. But to kind of see the things that they're doing with 2020 armor, and being able to kind of put those on and have your own like Mortal Kombat, Tekken kind of fight is pretty cool. And who would have thought that we would be having these kinds of things when we were younger? So it's really cool to kind of see how the sport is progressing and advancing.
Amazing. Do you think that could be in the future necessary for most of schools?
I think so. I mean, just kind of see what those guys are doing, and kind of seeing that the impact that it's having on the kids, and kind of the excitement that it brings, right? Because it's something new. You're not just kicking paddles or kicking a shield, right? You're actually having to actively engage in what it's doing, and how hard you're kicking, and your reaction speed, and things like that. So I think it's awesome that they're keeping track of that, and now you're aware of it. So
amazing, Master.
Really cool.
Great. Do you have any specific failure, maybe a favorite one that set you up for later success?
I think I think losing to Mark Lopez was a loss, but really showed me that I could compete with anybody. Being able to kind of fight him at the Olympic trials, and being able to beat him the first time, and making it into the finals at minus 68 where I had no business. I had no business being in that division, and being able to kind of make it to the final as the number 1 seed, and then unfortunately losing to him 2 times, but very close margins. But I knew from then, I was like, okay, I can really fight with anyone in the world. And Coach Moreno has always kind of been in my ear and always told me that I can kind of he would put me up against anyone in the world. But when I was able to kind of do that and kind of make it that far at Olympic trials, to be able to take 2nd place there, in a much heavier weight class, I knew that I can compete, and it kind of sprung me, and gave me a lot more confidence going forward. I always joke with Terrence Jennings. I say he's lucky that I lost to Mark there, because then me and him would have fought off for the Olympics to go. And TJ is one of my best friends, and we've been training partners for so long. So I always joke with him. I say, "You're lucky, man." I said, I fight with you every day in the gym, so it would have been really cool. And then it would have been a cool moment for us to kind of share that experience. We shared so many battles in the ring and in the warehouse. It would have been cool to kind of see it on that kind of stage.
Do you fought in the warehouse?
Oh, all the time. Me and TJ have a lot of battles, and we go at it. I mean, we're both kind of those alpha males, and so again, I think that's kind of what pushed both of us to kind of get to where we were. And I've been fortunate enough to compete on almost every level in this sport, and being able to kind of actually go out there and help those guys in London, help my teammates TJ and also Paige McPherson, to be able to be a part of their journey and kind of see their success, and really see them and I never really saw them win their bronze medal. It was really cool to kind of be a part of that moment and share that with those guys. So those are some of my best friends, and those are family. So it's something that we're going to share together for the rest of our lives.
If you could have a gigantic billboard that anybody in the world could see, which message would you put on in?
Man, probably around the lines of something simple. I mean, more kindness. I think right now we live in a world where there's so much hate, and people are so quick to kind of judge or mock or make fun of. I think if everybody could be a little bit more kind, the world would be a much better place. And it's really heartbreaking to kind of see the kind of things that are going on in this world right now. But I think more kindness. I think we can all do our part, and you never know what somebody's going through. So the smallest thing that you can do for somebody could kind of change their day. And if you can do that, I think that's what it's about. And to be able to impact somebody by doing something so little is really what it's about.
Great. What is the best investment you've ever made?
Best investment? Man, I think just investing in myself, really committing to the sport and dedicating my life to to martial arts and to Taekwondo. And, I've had such a long career and have had so many experiences. And I think because of all those experiences, it's made me who I am today. And now I'm able to kind of pass that on to some of my athletes and to some other kids, especially ones that grew up in my area. So, I think just really, really special for me to do that and make sure that happens.
Is there any bad recommendation or something that you hear in Taekwondo that you don't like, something you don't agree with?
You see a lot of people nowadays kind of hating on the new game and how it's so different from the old school. But, I'm kind of tired of hearing about that too. I mean, coming from somebody who's fought in that old school game and then fought in the new school game, I have a lot of respect for the athletes today and what they're doing. I mean, I know some of the old school heads don't like the front leg game and the picking up of the leg, but man, these athletes are really incredible and really athletic, and some of the things that they're able to do is really tough. So I think just I'm tired of hearing about that conversation. Let's kind of focus on focus on the game now and what it is, and you know, let's stop hating on so much of the game, and let's just support these guys and kind of help lift the sport together so that it can become better.
What advice would you give to a 13-year-old that is starting to compete in Taekwondo?
Oh man, have fun, right? Have fun, enjoy the process. Never get too high, never get too low. I mean, you're going to experience these losses, but again, I mean, it's really in those losses and in those times where you fail where you learn a lot about yourself, and that's when you can truly grow as a person. So my advice to a 10-year-old would be have fun, never forget why you started, enjoy the journey, because at the end of the day, I mean, we all want to chase these medals and be on podiums, but when it's all said and done, it's really the relationships that you build and the experiences that you kind of go through that are really important.
When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused, what do you do to be on your way again?
Oh man, just kind of taking a deep breath and being mindful of the current moment. I listen to a lot of music. Listening to music kind of gets me back on track and kind of takes my mind off of everything else that's going around you. But I think mindfulness is very important, and just being kind of aware and being in the moment, not focusing about yesterday or what's ahead of you. Just kind of being in the moment and being present and kind of controlling what you can control. And you know, everything happens for a reason. So
is there any question you would like that I did you and I didn't?
Say that again.
Is there any question that you would have loved that I'd made and I didn't?
I love all the questions.
Okay.
There's no questions that I didn't like. And again, I'm just thankful for the opportunity kind of to share my story with everybody, and to be able to talk with you too. So I have no complaints here.
Okay, Master. How can people find you and your academy?
You can visit us on our website, livingproofmartialarts.com. We also have an Instagram page as well too, at Living Proof TKD. Also on Facebook as well too, Living Proof Martial Arts. If you search, you'll find us there. So,
well, it's been a pleasure, Master. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish you the best for your academy and your life.
Thank you so much again. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited. And again, I think what you're doing is great for the community, and I think we need more of getting to know some of the athletes so people can kind of see, you know, kind of their stories and their journeys, and hopefully be an inspiration to others. So really thankful for having me.
I'm thankful, Master, and I hope the interview serves to inspire someone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.